this is a weird one to start. I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this, but the comparisons need to be made. So recently, I was invited to go to the Grand Archive Grand Ascent in London at the same time as MegaCon. Now, I didn't know much about Grand Archive at the time, but Main Deck Dan was casting, and I haven't seen him since the Vegas Summit, and I wanted to hang out with him. Didn't get to hang out with him as much as I wanted to because he was working. I was with Flynn and Robin because MegaCon was happening at the same time, so I had to leave a little bit earlier. But I got to chat to the players, and I did get to chat to Dan while I was playing. So what I found kind of had a glass shattering moment between what Grand Archive was doing there and what UVS has done for us in the last couple of years. So I'm going to break it down into the things that shocked me and where and why I think UVS needs to improve on this. Starting off with the venue. The venue was an immediate, amazing change. If we look at where regionals have been held in the UK, including nationals for the last few years, it has been at stores or it has been in, to put it bluntly, secluded areas. It has been in hotel ballrooms, it's been in meeting rooms. Hell, even over in America, it's been in hotel conference rooms. They have been locked away. They've not been heavily advertised. They've not been appealing to IP fans or people that might be interested in learning the game. When they're in stores, like Patriot haven't got the manpower or the staff to run demos because they've also got other events going on at the time, and basically it's not something that they really did. They haven't got the space to. I mean, the first regionals we did, they were almost at capacity to kick people out. But when I went to the Grand Ascent, it was in the London XL. Immediately, that's a huge venue to get. The hall was well spaced. There was a massive sign saying demos. They had a massive screen showcasing the stream. The stream was completely kept away from everybody else. The commentators were kept away. It was wide spaced, and it felt grander. The prize wall was separated. It was nice and spacious. It wasn't cramped. You weren't locked away, and there was a big open entrance where anybody walking past from MegaCon could see and come in, and they did. And this is something I've been asking UVS to do since I joined the game. When you are a card game that utilizes popular IPs, when that is your thing, when you adapt popular IPs, appealing to the fans of those IPs brings them in. And we had a great start with, and it was a very cool start to see them at Games Expo. But MegaCon, MCM, Dokumi, Japan Expo, the expos, the Comic Cons are a huge drive. Grand Archive is an anime-inspired art card game, and people from MegaCon came in. I spoke to a Sanji cosplayer who was just there because he was at MegaCon, came over and liked the IP. There was a guy in a Dragon Ball Z shirt, you might have seen him in my Grand Archive wrap-up, who was telling me that he plays DBZ, Digimon. He plays all the big card games. He came in to try this out. So there is clearly a Venn diagram of anime fans, game fans, the people that go to the MegaCons that want to learn games. I saw lots of people coming over from MegaCon because it was a nice open space for them to sit down, for them to rest, for them to take a break from MegaCon, and then going, well, what is this? And jumping in on demos and having fun. And it was so cool to see, and it's something I had been asking for absolutely ages for UVS to do. That kind of synergy that Living Realms put into the Grand Ascent was so very cool. And it's not the first time. When they had their Japanese Grand Ascent, it was in Akihabara. Akihabara, for anyone who is not aware of the cultural significance, is the anime and manga central hub of Japan. If you're an anime fan, if you're a manga fan, if you're a fan of Japanese culture as put into those media forms, Akihabara is where you want to visit. So hosting a major anime card game inspired tournament there is beautiful synergy, and it's working for Grand Archive. They had 200 people show up to the London Ascent, and that was around what they were expecting. But in Southeast Asia, they're getting 500 people. In America, they're getting up to 800 people. This card game's been around 2 years, and their fan base is a lot like the Universus fan. They're passionate, they're friendly, they're even when there's such big prizing online, they're some of the nicest people I got to chat to. And a lot of them were aware of Universes and other card games and were happy to talk to me about it. The micro processing that you have to do taking your turns, it's very cool. It is very cool, but people travel. And that is what caught me off guard. When I was checking out the stream, when I was traveling over, I saw people from Canada, America, Central Europe, Southern Europe, even someone from New Zealand traveled over to play in the Grand Ascent. And I was kind of reminded of something that Nick Reagan said when it was announced that there's no OP in Europe for next year. And that is, just travel over here. Come to America. It costs the same for you to come here as it does for me to travel over there. And my head took months to go, wait a minute. If it costs the same for people in America to fly across the country to play in an event in America, why aren't they coming to Europe? Why aren't they spending the same money they're spending to play card games in their own region and coming here? Why is the argument that we should go to them valid, but the argument that they should come to us unreasonable? Does that make sense to anyone here? I can understand when it comes to OC it's a little bit different, but Justin Birch has done this. Trading Post have done this. Trading Post have gone for community events. They've flown out and done it. So what's stopping our community? Why is a card game like Grand Archive, which has so many similarities to us, able to get their players to go transatlantic, to go international, to travel for the love of the game, to play anywhere and everywhere, and yet our players who've been playing 10 plus years won't? What's the difference? The game is still the same wherever you go. Apparently it's easier to get wins here if you can talk to America, but I'm not here to bitch about that. I'm not here to bitch about OP. I'm here to talk about why is the mentality different? Why will Grand Archive players fly over here? When I asked them what brought them over here, they just wanted to play the game. They wanted to deliver the game. They wanted the points towards Worlds. They wanted to get the auto qualification. The same things that we are offering in there. The only major difference is the level of the promos and the prizing. At the Ascent level, top 8 get some very exclusive promo cards that nobody else gets. And it isn't just... And it's still like a reskin card, but it's a signed... It's almost like a signed exclusive card. It's a proper... I was here and I did well show-stopping card. It's not just a reskin of the participation promo. It is a I did well, here's my proof card on top of the 750 to 2 grand you're walking away with. I don't know if that's the big thing. No one really said to me, oh, I'm here to try and get the money, because not all of the people that flew over here were going to walk away with money. And that is kind of where I want to go with this. What is Grand Archive doing? Why are people willing to travel for these grand ascents? Why are Americans and the Spanish and the French and people from Greece and people from New Zealand willing and ready to drop everything for the second Grand Ascent event in Europe just to play and see the community, when the Universus players won't? Our players have a longer history. Our players say that the nicest, the most committed, the most passionate players. But they don't want to travel. And I'm in that boat. I don't want to travel. I don't want to drop everything I'm doing to go over to America to play the event. I lose an entire week for that. But then I just get this Nick Reagan Discord message going through my head again of, oh, why don't you just travel over here? It costs the same. It's like, cool. So why aren't they coming over here? Why is nobody traveling? Two Trading Posts and Justin Birch, like I said, fair play. You came over for nationals. Trading Post brought a whole platoon of people over. But why aren't most people? If it's just as much of a cost for you in America to fly cross country, why aren't you coming to Glasgow? Why aren't you coming to Chelmsford? Why aren't you going to Alicante? Why aren't you going to these events? Is it the event? Is it the pricing? Is it the playing? Is it the cost? The cost is supposed to be the same. Is it the amount of time? Well, when I brought that up, that the timing was different, I was told no, the timing is the same. They still lose the same amount of time. So to focus on this OP argument, if the exact same amount of time and effort goes into American players traveling across country to take part in their own regionals, why aren't they coming here? Why am I looking at a Grand Archive event of 200 people with a significant amount of them coming from other countries and other continents, and Universus events aren't? Why are these events synergized so well with locations and dates and coinciding with conventions that will bring more people into the game? What is Grand Archive doing that in the last 2 years, because this game's only 2 years old, it's thrived into this multi-hundred player event where people are traveling in the hundreds in America, traveling in the hundreds in Asia, and still hitting 200 in Europe? Our numbers are kind of dwindling. We haven't hit 500 at nationals since MHA. We haven't hit over 100 players in Europe since 2023. Our numbers are going down, and more decisions, such as no regionals, are pushing those numbers further and further away. And I love Universus. I don't want it to go down. This is really hard for me to talk about because it sounds like I'm bad mouthing Universus, but I'm not. I'm trying to understand why Grand Archive, this 2-year-old game that I see so many comparisons with, they have a team of people who have been playing card games for such a long time. They have a design team that knows how games flow, and they're passionate. And the OP were at the event. The head of the OP was there, talking with people, learning what the people wanted from the game. They listen to the player base, and they understand what they want, and it's exactly what Universus does. It's exactly what UVS does. So why is one thriving and why is one stagnated? I don't get it. Why will players travel for one, and why won't players travel for another? I don't have an answer to this. I don't know why. I would love to get people's feedback on this. I've asked UKVersus R&D. I've asked other people what they think of this, and nobody can give me a concise answer. I don't get it. I really don't. But I want to. So if you have an opinion, if you think you know the answer, if you think you know what's going on here as to why one game can thrive and do all this, why another can't, please let me know, because it is bugging me, and I don't like making this kind of content, but I will, because I'm considering picking up more Grand Archive content. It was a really fun experience for me, and the community seemed really cool. Flynn really enjoyed it. Looking at the comparisons, when I started doing the research into it, it was kind of heartbreaking to see how much this game that I've grown to love over the last 4 years is lagging behind this game of 2 years that has come out of nowhere, hit the ground running, and has such cool features. They have just launched a content creator camp which no Universus content creator would be qualified for if UVS ran it. The requirements to get into the Grand Archive content creator camp are so high. It's not just about your dedication, it's about your quality, it's about your upload schedule. There is no one in our community that can hit that. And I have been releasing daily since August last year. I've been releasing 5 videos a week since August 2024. And even I'm not on the level that goes there. And it was a shock to see just this game that's younger than ours, so similar to ours, and seeing this content creator camp requirements that none of our content creators could get to, whether it's down to editing, uploading, view count. There's so much in there that they want from their content creators to go, if you want to work with us, we need to know you're dedicated. We need to know you're in this for the right reasons, and we need to know that you can produce at a standard that we can work with. We have a lot of passion, we do, and we love talking about this game. And when we're in our locals, when people are asking about it, we want this game to thrive. And I don't know why it's not. And I would love for the community and the people watching this to tell me, why isn't Universus thriving in comparison to other games like Grand Archive? I'm going to leave it there. If you want to leave a comment talking about this, please do. If you want to have a more in-depth conversation, feel free to hit me up via DM. If you're interested in having this discussion and making it into content, let me know. I'm happy to provide a platform or watch your response videos to this. But yeah, for theories, news, or more, hopefully a little bit more upbeat than this one, keep it with UKVersus.